Coming up, a car accident in southwest Missouri leaves 2 injured and 1 dead.
Take a look at this radar image. That's real rain that's falling in our northwestern counties. There's more of it on the way. The latest from the Skywatch Weather Center.
And Joplin's Emancipation Celebration Committee presents its annual Park Days celebration.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It is 5 a.m. I'm Tanya Bonk.
I'm Chris Warner. It's hard to believe it's already Monday. So getting off at like 12:30 on Friday, I wake up on Sunday feeling like I'm late because there's that whole day Friday plus Saturday. It feels like it's already been 2 days, and then I'm like, oh no, wait. It's Sunday.
Yeah.
I've still got a whole nother day. And so then when Monday comes, I'm like, okay, how did this happen? Where did this come from?
It is a nice weekend, though.
It is, and it was a pretty nice. It was hot. We took the family up to Marion Days. We stayed about 45 minutes before everyone was near death, and so we left. But it's an exciting event. And it's really cool every year. It's just I really wish it could have been a little bit cooler.
It's like in the books that it's supposed to be super hot when we have Marion Days.
Well, and it certainly lived up to it. Of course, any major holiday we have, it's got to rain or be unbearably hot where you can't do anything outdoors. Speaking of rain, take a look at Skywatch Storm Tracker. That is actual rain off in our northwestern counties, and we're going to see more of this as the day goes on. Right now, though, obviously, a good chunk of us staying dry as we start this day. 80 degrees, feels like 83. Those temperatures will cool off just a little bit for our official overnight lows. I know it sounds crazy, but we'll hit our official overnight lows here shortly. All of us starting out close to 80. Dew points, of course, they're up there because it is going to definitely rain today. So let's take a look at today. As we progress through the day, those rain chances will increase into the afternoon and evening hours. In fact, we should start seeing some more widespread storms somewhere between about 8 and 9 o'clock if the models hold. And so I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure everyone else is, but still going to be hot. As you can see, a high in the upper 90s with heat index values pushing into the lower 100s. And tonight, the storms stick around. Might even be some heavy rain out there with a southwest breeze. And as we head into tomorrow, you know what happens? Storm chances stick around again.
All right, 2 days in a row.
2 days of some decent storm chances, something that we talked about where, okay, if it's going to be 100 degrees for several days in a row, at least break it up with some rain. That's what we're doing right now.
We'll take it. We'll take it.
We need it. We'll take it. We enjoy it.
All right. Thanks, Chris. Well, authorities arrested a suspect in Kansas wanted for killing 4 people in Ohio. Police in Montgomery County's Butler Township said late Saturday night, 39-year-old Stephen Marlowe was taken into police custody by police in Lawrence, Kansas. He's wanted in Ohio for shooting and killing 4 people, with one of the victims being a teenage girl. They say Marlowe will be sent to Ohio to face charges. A man is dead and 2 others are injured after a crash in southwest Missouri. Authorities say a Pittsburgh man was driving on Southwest 60th Road south of Minden Mines. He drove off the road, hit a tree, and the vehicle overturned. The passenger, 19-year-old Tristan Davis of Mulberry, Kansas, was pronounced dead at the scene. Both the driver and the other passenger were taken to local hospitals for treatment. Federal authorities charge a Central Missouri man accused of taking a weapon with him to the January 6th riot at the U.S. Capitol. 36-year-old Jared Thomas Barger of Centralia was arrested in Osage Beach, Missouri. That's according to the U.S. Justice Department. He was charged with entering a restricted building or grounds with a weapon and unlawful possession of a firearm on Capitol grounds or buildings, along with related misdemeanors. Barger is the 23rd Missourian charged in connection to the January 6th insurrection. And that's according to the Kansas City Star. He's not accused of entering the Capitol building. Federal documents allege Barger took a 9mm semi-automatic pistol with him to a rally and then to the Capitol. Barger did not have a license to carry a weapon in the District of Columbia. Nationwide teacher shortage is forcing school districts in Kansas and Missouri to make some big changes, including 4-day weeks for some and hefty sign-on bonuses for new employees. Missouri Department of Education and Secondary Education says there were more than 3,000 in-state teaching positions that had to be left vacant or filled by unqualified candidates last school year. State board voted in June to allow potential teachers to qualify for a certificate if they miss 1 to 4 questions on the certification exam. Around 550 teachers missed the qualifying score, but had already completed the accredited program. Governor Mike Parson approved nearly $250 million to increase minimum pay for Missouri teachers to $38,000, where the state directly pays for 70% of that. The National Education Association says the national average starting wage for educators is around $41,000. A Carthage museum is being remodeled to help local high school students graduate on time. The Powers Museum was gifted to the Board of Education to expand their Powers Learning program. The program is designed to help high school seniors and juniors catch up on credits in order to graduate on time.
Be here for half the day, either in the morning or the afternoon. They can choose. When they're not in this building, they will either be taking classes at our tech center, or they can be released on a work program, so they can earn credit if they have steady employment as well.
Remodeling is in the final stages. Joplin Emancipation Celebration Committee is presenting its 2022 annual Emancipation Park Days celebration. Celebration that celebrates the official Emancipation Proclamation was set forth in the fall of 1862 and adopted in January of 1863 by a wartime Union government. On Sunday, it's celebrated with a car show.
Today is our 15th annual car show we put on for the Park Day celebration in the park. We've been doing this now I've been doing it now for about 8 years for the festival, and we have probably around 65 cars here today, and just basically do it to appreciate, you guys come in, to appreciate the show and everything what we do for them.
Johnson says events like this are important for the community because it brings people together. The Rotary Club volunteers in Pittsburgh were collecting school supplies with the Salvation Army in front of Walmart's on Saturday. Supplies are distributed by the Pittsburgh Community School District to students in the community. Rotary Club volunteer Jeff Elliott thinks this is necessary because the prices in general are going up.
These days, more and more people need just a little bit of assistance, and this is one way to do it. Prices are challenging across from school supplies to gas to food, and this is just one way for us to contribute and help those folks that could use a little leg up.
Salvation Army's Stuff the Bus school supply drive will take place at more than 4,500 Walmart stores across the country.
All right, so we talked about rain chances increasing, so let's talk about the future on here. You can see they start building across the area by this afternoon, and they become slightly more numerous as we head into the evening hours, and it's going to be a pretty decent shot of showers and thunderstorms. Now, this particular little graphic here doesn't show all of them, but I can assure you we do have those increasing storm chances as we head through the next couple of days. And a quick look at that 7-day forecast shows a little bit cooler tomorrow thanks to the rain before temperatures return right back into the lower 100s. I know we don't want to see 3 digits on those temperatures, but unfortunately we're heading right back into that pattern as the week moves on.
All right. Well, that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, Webb City Little League goes up to bat against Fargo, North Dakota. We'll have the results.
Plus, the benefit of summer is beating the heat with air conditioning. However, some European countries are putting restrictions on that famous cooling device.
And the CDC sends a team to investigate polio in New York. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back.
Pre-owned cars, all makes, all models, all price range. Just give me a try before you buy. SkywayBuickGMC.com or like us on Facebook, but I just want the opportunity to save you money.
Is your AC struggling to keep cool this summer? Trust the pros at Paschal to replace that old unit with a brand new one. Take advantage of money-saving rebates, 0% financing, and payments as low as $95 a month. Professional people, professional service. Go Paschal.com.
Well, Webb City Little League is 1-0 in the Midwest Regional Tournament in Indianapolis. They got the tournament started on Friday with a 5-4 win over Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Yesterday, they had a chance to move to the semifinals facing Fargo, North Dakota. This one was a 10 a.m. game, but Andrew Baird woke up ready to play. Bottom of the first, Baird drills this one up and out to right center. 3-run jack gives Webb City the lead. Baird drives in 5. His teammate Brady Holland also had a monster day here in the 4th. Down 1. Holland goes to opposite field. That would score 2 runs. Holland in there for the double. The 4th inning turned out to be a big one for Webb City. They battled around. Holland back to the plate. Bases loaded. He finds the gap. That clears the bases. Holland also with 5 RBIs yesterday for Webb City. They plate 10 runs in the 4th. 5th inning, they have a chance to end it early, and Bryce Stevens does just that. RBI single gives Webb City the run rule victory. They're moving on to the regional semifinals, topping Fargo, North Dakota 17-7. Staying in the Midwest Regional, Pittsburgh 12 and under group is also still alive. They beat Kearney, Nebraska 7-0 on Saturday behind a no-hitter from pitcher Gabe Brown. Now Pittsburgh be back in action today in Indianapolis, aiming to become the first Pittsburgh Little League team to pick up 2 wins at the regional tournament.
That'd mean the world to me and the boys. Like I said, we've put in a lot of hard work, and these kids have, man, they worked so hard and they care so much. To see them do that for each other and to be the first team from Pittsburgh to get 2 wins, that would be, man, that'd mean the world to us and the boys, for sure. We're going to play small ball, we're going to play defense, we're going to throw strikes, and we're going to make a team beat us. And if a team can outplay us, we might lose, but we're going to go, I don't know if I can say this on there, but we're going to go give them hell. That's what I said we're going to do all week. We're going to go give them hell.
Well, the St. Louis Cardinals are on a roll. The Cardinals have won 6 games in a row, including the first 2 games of their 3-game series against the Yankees. St. Louis has a chance to keep their streak alive and earn the sweep against New York. It's 4-3 Yankees until Nolan Arenado with 2 on clears the wall out there and left. Cards go in front 6-4. We're tied up in the 5th. Paul DeJong drills it to right. Bounces around in the corner. Lars Newbar waved around third and scores. Just like that, St. Louis back in the lead. Same inning, bases loaded for Paul Goldschmidt. Yankees give away a free one here on the walk. It's now 9-6. Then in the 8th, DeJong at the dish again. Big swing here, going to Big Mac land. 4 RBIs today for Paul DeJong. Cards get the win and sweep the Yankees 12-9. Kansas City Royals trying to take 3 of 4 in the series finale against the Red Sox. MJ Melendez RBI single in the 3rd gives the Royals a 2-0 lead. In the 5th, Melendez back to work. He had a nice day. This is a 3-run bomb here for Kansas City. His 13th. Melendez drives in 6 today. Royals up 5-0, and they're not done here in the 7th. Kyle Isbell lines a triple here. Nate Eaton scores at that point. It's 6-3 Royals, but they would really slam the door in the 8th. Isbell again, bases loaded, double off the wall. That scores 2, 6 runs for Kansas City in the 8th. They take the series from Boston, winning 13-5. There are just 4 races remaining before the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs begin. First of those races was yesterday afternoon with the Cup Series heading to Michigan for the Firekeepers Casino 400. Weather actually delayed the start of this one, but they would get it on the track. We'll start in stage 2, lap 114. Crazy moment in the race. Cole Custer has to pit with a front tire on fire. Wow. Pit crew was able to put that fire out. Custer would be okay. Final lap of the stage, it's Denny Hamlin out in front. He wins stage 2. So we go to stage 3 now. Kevin Harvick leading the way. He leads 38 laps and takes the checkered flag for Harvick. Yesterday's win snaps a 65-race winless streak.
We've had several good runs the last few weeks, Loudon and Pocono, where the car ran good and just, didn't have everything work out. So, a lot of things went our way today, which, we haven't had all year long have things go our way and have things fall our way. You go out and you try to put yourself in a position to win the race and try to capitalize on a day and put a whole day together. And today we put a whole day together.
I tell you what, I don't know how you managed to set a tire on fire. Well, still to come, at least 121 are injured after a lightning strike hits an oil facility in Cuba. Plus, you got to check your forecast when KOAM Morning News returns. So we've got some increasing storm chances as we head through the day. Now, despite the rain, it's still going to be pretty hot. Those storm chances will increase throughout the day, and they're actually going to stick around into tomorrow, which is nice because after that, they kind of go away for a little while. So here's Skywatch Storm Tracker off to the northwest. You can see some of those showers starting to build in, say around Eureka, Yates Center, up by Burlington, which, by the way, on Friday, I made a visit to Burlington. It's for that special report that's coming soon, so you'll want to stay tuned for that. 7th range line, it is clear. Not many cars out on the road right now, and I don't blame them. It's still pretty early in the morning, but if you're at home, need to know what's going on. It's 80, feels like 83 with the south breeze in Joplin. Most of us are sitting around 80 degrees as we start our day, and we've also got these dew points to contend with, which makes it feel pretty muggy, but it's also helping with our rain chances. So how about the rest of today? Let's take a quick look at that. You see rain icons all through the day. These storms will start to increase this morning, and they will last with us through the early evening. Despite that, though, it's still going to be a hot one, 97 for an afternoon high, which means that those heat index values could push up to 101. But the good news is, at least right now, no heat advisories in the area. That doesn't mean it's not going to be hot. And it doesn't mean you don't need to take precautions. It just means there's no heat advisories right now. Going through the evening, it cools off pretty decently because rain chances will stick around. There might be some heavy rain with some of those storms. And the future track shows as they start to build in through the afternoon. You can see them more numerous as we head into the early evening hours. Unfortunately, they don't do a lot for temperatures today, but by tomorrow, we're talking about highs in the upper 80s. So you can't go wrong with that, right? It's going to be pretty nice, and we have the rain to thank for that. Unfortunately, on the 7-day forecast, we can take a very quick look at that. Once the rain chances clear out, yeah, it starts to heat up again, highs in the lower 100s to finish out the week. Obviously, there's no question it's been a hot summer. That 7-day forecast kind of explains it. And one of the benefits is air conditioning. But as Ian Lee reports from London, some countries are taking away that perk.
Europe is bracing for another round of sweltering heat. Temperatures are expected to top 100 degrees in the coming days. But folks in Spain won't find much relief indoors. A new law requires businesses, museums, restaurants, and public transport to follow strict temperature rules. This Spanish minister delivered the news, saying the thermostat in the winter should be held at a maximum 66 degrees, and in the summer, no cooler than 80 degrees. The law comes as Spain deals with a double whammy. The war in Ukraine has sent energy prices skyrocketing as Russia cuts gas supplies to Europe. Meanwhile, heat waves continue to cook the continent. Shops and public buildings are now required to turn off their lights when closed, and doors must remain shut when the AC or heating is on. Alex from Madrid backs the changes, saying, "That's good, isn't it, if it lowers energy consumption?" While this man says putting the air conditioning at 80 degrees is a bit high. It's difficult and won't do much. But Spanish officials hope it will get the country through this summer and the energy crisis. Ian Lee, CBS News.
Check this out. For companies that break the new energy rules, fines start at $60,000. Now, good news is the Spanish law doesn't apply at home. The new limits are only recommended. That brings us to our something to talk about. What temperature do you put your thermostat at during the summer? Is it 60, 65, 66, 68, 70? Something else? See, during the night, I set it to 74 to capitalize on the cool air, and during the day, I turned it up to 76, so it's not working as hard. We want to hear from you, of course. Vote, KOAMNewsNow.com/vote. Do so in the KOAM News Now app. And, of course, take part in the discussion on Facebook. How are you saving energy? What are you doing with your air conditioner? Maybe you can learn some tips and tricks. We'll be right back with Health Watch after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning, the CDC has sent a team to New York to investigate an identified case of polio in the state. The group will also help with vaccinations in the area of Rockland County, north of New York City, on the west side of the Hudson River. Late last month, local health officials announced an adult resident who is unvaccinated had contracted polio. New York's Department of Health says it's the first case in the U.S. since 2013. A polio infection causes flu-like symptoms for most patients, but in some cases, about 1 in 100 paralysis and death is possible. State health officials detected the virus in Rockland County's wastewater samples in June. The FDA approves a medication that aims to treat a newly recognized type of breast cancer called HER2-low. It's for women with advanced breast cancer that cannot be surgically removed or has spread to the other parts of their body. In clinical trials, HER2-low nearly doubled the window of time women could live with their cancer and not get any worse. It also increased overall survival from about 17 months in the group that got standard chemotherapy to 24 months in the group that received the new intravenous medication. FDA says cancer patients are eligible for Enhertu if their cancer has spread beyond the breast and they've already received standard chemotherapy, or if their cancer returned within 6 months of completing chemotherapy. One of Indiana's largest employers is pushing back the day after the state's restrictive new abortion law was passed. Saturday, pharmaceutical giant Eli Lilly said there will be negative economic consequences for the state as a result. Eli Lilly, which has been headquartered in Indianapolis for 145 years, says it will now look outside the state for growth. The company has expanded its employee health plan coverage to include travel for reproductive services. But Lilly executives believe the near total abortion ban will make it harder to recruit top talent as well as retain female employees. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
So it's going to be hot this week. We're going to take a quick look at that 7-day forecast. As you can see, it's going to be unpleasant. The good news is we have storm chances that do increase today, and they're going to last with us through tomorrow as well, and they're actually going to help with the temperatures at least for a little bit. And then after that clears out, temperatures go right back up into the lower 100s yet again. Now, I just realized I just hit the wrong button, so you can see Storm Center's pretty empty over there. Let me go fix that real quick. But you can also see, now these storms off to our northwest are actually moving to the west, so it does make it look as though they are moving away from us, but they are actually going to move into our area, believe it or not. So, storm chances again will increase as we go through the day, and let's talk about today while we have a moment here. And you can see it's going to be hot. So despite the rain today, heat index value is still pushing 101, and as we head into the overnight, temperatures dropping off into the 70s. Maybe some heavy rain with some of the storms, but otherwise they stick around all night long. We've got more of the KOAM Morning News after this.
Coming up, a car accident in southwest Missouri leaves 2 injured and 1 dead.
Scattered showers in our northwestern counties moving away from us, but they will increase for all of us as the day goes on. The latest from the Skywatch Weather Center.
And Joplin's Emancipation Celebration Committee presents its annual Park Days celebration.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:32. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. It's going to rain today, which is
That's
a great
good.
thing. It's a wonderful, it's like we've said over the last few weeks, I never thought we'd ever be so excited for so much rain, but we're at that point where rain is very exciting. Now, you can see off to our northwest, there's some scattered storms out there, and they're actually moving away from us, but they're going to increase in coverage as the day goes on. 7th and Range Line, there's a few more cars on the road. People starting to wake up, get ready for work. You know, it's that time of day. It's 5:32 a.m. 80 degrees in Joplin. Feels like 83 right now. Most of us starting our day in the upper 70s to near 80 degrees. And it's going to be another hot one, unfortunately. Dew points are up there, too. That's because we have these increasing rain chances. A nice little system bringing some moisture in. Unfortunately, we have to do with those nasty dew points as well. Heading through the day, temperatures pushing into the upper 90s yet again. But you can also see thunderstorm icons all across the board because it is going to storm later today with some decent rain chances. But despite that, heat index value is still pushing close to 101, maybe a pinch higher in some areas. Overnight tonight, rain helps us out with temperatures, cools us off in the lower 70s. Might be some heavy rain with some of the thunderstorms, otherwise not too bad. And then again, these storm chances will return And they won't only last through the night, but they'll also be back tomorrow. Unfortunately, after tomorrow, they kind of start to move on with their lives and leave us with triple-digit temperatures to wrap up the week.
Okay, well, that's not fun at all.
That is not fun in the slightest, unfortunately. But
I like the temperatures for Tuesday in the 89.
Tomorrow, because of the rain, it's looking to be a little bit cooler. It's kind of crazy. 89 is cool. But compared to what we've seen, it is nice.
It is very cool.
But then after that, like I said, storm chances kind of break up. They do their thing. They move on to wherever it is they're going next and leave us with 100-degree temperatures.
There you go.
They're not very nice.
No.
They say, here's some rain. Oh, by the way, look what's behind me. 100-degree temperatures.
And hopefully next week it can go back down again.
I certainly hope so. It's not looking likely yet, but we can always hope and see what happens.
Okay.
Wishful thinking.
All right. Thanks, Chris. Well, authorities arrest a suspect in Kansas wanted for killing 4 people in Ohio. Police in Montgomery County's Butler Township said late Saturday night, 39-year-old Stephen Marlowe was taken into custody by police in Lawrence, Kansas. He's wanted in Ohio for shooting and killing 4 people, with one of the victims a teenage girl. They say Marlowe will be sent to Ohio to face charges. 1 man is dead and 2 others injured after a crash in southwest Missouri. Authorities say a Pittsburgh man was driving on Southwest 60th Road south of Minden Mines. He drove off the road, hit a tree, and the vehicle overturned. The passenger, 19-year-old Tristan Davis of Mulberry, Kansas, was pronounced dead at the scene. Both the driver and the other passenger were taken to local hospitals for treatment. Thrive Allen County received a $33,000 grant to promote economic growth within Allen County. Organization is planning on creating an incubator to help support and grow local businesses. Incubator will allow Thrive to guide local businesses and give new life to Iola, Kansas's economic development.
Development had existed organically. Businesses come, businesses go, and businesses started and were successful. Thrive just took the approach of we can provide more resources for businesses.
Organization has been guiding and nurturing local businesses since 2014. The city of Joplin celebrates the Emancipation Proclamation. The Joplin Emancipation Celebration Committee will be presenting its 2022 annual Emancipation Park Days celebration. It's a celebration that celebrates the official Emancipation Proclamation that was set forth in the fall of 1862 and adopted in January of 1863 by a wartime Union government. KOAM's Shagun Bamadeli has more on the story.
As the Joplin Emancipation Committee celebrates its 2022 annual Park Day celebration, it is a day that reminds the citizens of Joplin what happened in the fall of 1862.
So today we are celebrating the emancipation, freeing of the slaves. This is similar to Juneteenth. This is Joplin's Juneteenth celebration. Ours just happens in August.
Speaking to Charlotte Cooper, the chairperson for the Emancipation Committee, she tells me why events like this are important to the community.
It's important to host things like this in the community to bring people together, unity, diversity, and just to teach our children about the culture and the history of Joplin, and let everybody come together. It's pretty much like a big family reunion.
In Joplin, Shagun Bamadeli, KOAM News.
The Emancipation Celebration wrapped up its celebration on Sunday. Here's Chris.
It is going to be rainy again. Well, not again, but it's going to be rainy today. Future track shows showers and thunderstorms. They will build in as the evening progresses. Take a look at 5 o'clock today. A few more of those scattered storms around the area. Unfortunately, while they help us out with temperatures tomorrow, they don't do anything for us today. And then once they clear out, yeah, it gets hot. We're talking lower 100s again as we head into the end of this week and into the weekend. But we're getting this brief break, and we'll take the rain chances. It's today, tonight, and into tomorrow before they eventually decide that they might want to move on.
What helps you cool off when you're hot outside?
I just don't go outside most of the time.
You prefer to stay inside?
I do.
With the air conditioning?
I do. That's my preferred way of staying cool during the summer.
Yeah, it does help. Well, this morning we are discussing air conditioning. And here in the United States, many people use air conditioning to beat the heat. That's if you're lucky enough to have it. However, in Europe, that's not the case so much, as Europe is bracing for another round of sweltering heat. Temperatures are expected to top 100 degrees in the coming days. But folks in Spain won't find much relief indoors because a new law is requiring businesses, museums, restaurants, and public transport to follow strict temperature rules. A Spanish minister delivered the news saying the thermostat in winter should be held at a maximum 66 degrees. In the summer, no cooler than 80 degrees. The law comes as Spain deals with a double whammy. The war in Ukraine has sent energy prices skyrocketing as Russia cuts gas supplies to Europe. And that brings us to our something to talk about.
Yeah. What temperature do you set your air conditioning to in the summer? Do you keep it at 6,656,687? Or do you set it a little lower? Perhaps we're talking 60, 68, 70, temperatures like that. Depends on what.
Okay. I called this one. I said the majority will be on other. It'll be on other all morning. There's a few select people that go under 70. Everybody else is over 70.
Yeah, no, and see, as I mentioned earlier, I go 74 at night to capitalize on the cool air, trap it in the house, 76 by day.
Mine are different throughout the day, whether we're not at home or not, but the highest setting, like upstairs, we have 2 levels in our house, so that one is set at like 74, where downstairs is like at 72 during the peak time when we're in the house.
Yeah, and see, that's the problem I've got is there's always somebody home at my house.
Yes,
so,
and then I change it, like when the kids go back to school, I'm not gonna have that pumping cold air constantly. Now, I don't drop it 10 degrees. We're talking like 1 or 2 degrees.
Right. You don't want any crazy changes. You see, and the other problem we've got, at least at home, is our house is in the tornado zone. So there's no trees. And it's a south-facing house. And so if you turn it off during the day, I mean, it heats up fast because that house just bakes in the sun all day long. So, I mean, even when we're not there, we've got to at least keep it at 78 because if we turn it off, it's going to run for hours on end trying to bring the temperature back down to something more manageable because it'll heat up in there pretty quick.
And I'll admit it, I am the culprit of the newsroom that turns the thermostat up to 72. Because when I come in, sometimes it's freezing. Freezing.
And that's the other thing.
Yeah.
When you're cooling
We're just
things
wasting
down,
corporate money here, business money. Yeah.
When you're cooling things down in the summer, are you turning the thermostat down or up? Are you turning the air? Let me rephrase it.
I always say it that
if you're
way,
turning,
yeah.
Are you turning the air up or down?
Okay, I turn the thermostat up to make it warmer. Because it's usually like pumping out freezing air and it's set at like 69 when I come in and it's
sometimes
so
you
cold.
can say, I'm turning the air up, meaning I'm making it colder because you're increasing the air conditioning. That's a little confusing. Now, in the wintertime, it's pretty straightforward. It's the heat.
You want to know the real reason why we wear long sleeve in here? Because it's cold.
It's set to like 67 because these lights in here will toast this studio like nobody's business.
Ron's wearing a hoodie in here.
Yeah, but...
And we step outside and we're like, oh!
When they're off, it's sub-zero. I mean, you could put a meat locker in this room.
But we've got a lot of equipment in this room.
And it's
just
sensitive
computers
to the
in the
heat.
newsroom. Just computers.
But there's
72
there's
is
windows
fine.
in the newsroom.
72 is fine. Yes, I know. But I sit right next to an air conditioning vent too. That's no fun.
there's a lot in the newsroom now that I think about it. For such a small space, there are a lot of air vents in there. Anyway.
And I bundle in a sweater all day long.
I just hang out here and I wrap up in blankets.
Yeah,
so.
it's ridiculous. Okay. First
Air
world
conditioning.
problems.
Make sure you vote on our website through the app and take part in the discussion or just join us in the discussion. I mean, shoot, we're here all morning, aren't we?
For sure. All right, that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour in the KOAM Morning News. We're going to take a musical journey that produced some new harmonies.
Plus, North Korea may be amping up its nuclear ambitions, which is causing worry. What's the latest?
You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back. Topping World Watch, one firefighter is dead and 17 others missing after a massive fire erupts at an oil storage facility in Cuba. Authorities say it was caused by a lightning strike on Friday. At least 121 people were injured and more than 1,300 have been evacuated from the area. Governments of Mexico and Venezuela are sending crews to help put out the flames. Disturbing new indications that North Korea may be ramping up its nuclear ambitions. Satellite images from Planet Labs show new structures being built at North Korea's Punjabi nuclear test site. This comes as a confidential UN report obtained by CNN says that Pyongyang is taking steps to prepare for a future nuclear test. Punjabi is where North Korea has conducted 6 underground nuclear tests. The UN report says that development has been ongoing there as well as at other locations. That's a look at 2 of your biggest headlines from around the world. We'll be right back with the news you need to know before you head out the door. Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Authorities arrest a suspect in Kansas wanted for killing 4 people in Ohio. Police in Montgomery County's Butler Township said late Saturday night, 39-year-old Stephen Marlowe was taken into custody by police in Lawrence, Kansas. He's wanted in Ohio for shooting and killing 4 people, with one of the victims a teenage girl. They say Marlowe will be sent to Ohio to face charges. A man is dead and 2 others injured after a crash in southwest Missouri. Authorities say a Pittsburgh man was driving on Southwest 60th Road south of Minden Mines. He drove off the road, hit a tree, and the vehicle overturned. A passenger, 19-year-old Tristan Davis of Mulberry, Kansas, was pronounced dead at the scene. Both the driver and the other passenger were taken to local hospitals for treatment. Federal authorities charge a Central Missouri man accused of taking a weapon with him to the January 6th riot at the U.S. Capitol. According to the U.S. Justice Department, 36-year-old Jared Thomas Barger of Centralia was arrested in Osage Beach, Missouri. He was charged with entering a restricted building or grounds with a weapon and unlawful possession of a firearm on Capitol grounds or buildings, along with related misdemeanors. Kansas City Star reports Barger is the 23rd Missourian charged in connection to the January 6th insurrection. He's not accused of entering the Capitol building. Federal documents allege Barger took a 9mm semi-automatic pistol with him to a rally and then to the Capitol. Barger did not have a license to carry a weapon in the District of Columbia. A top Democratic Missouri state lawmaker wrote to the Democratic governors of Kansas and Illinois asking for help paying for abortions for out-of-state Medicaid patients. Missouri House Democratic Minority Leader Crystal Quaid called on Kansas and Illinois to apply for Medicaid waivers to cover abortions for out-of-state patients. The waivers only apply in cases of rape, incest, and medical emergencies. Spokespeople for both governors have not responded to the request. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
It's going to be another hot one today with building storm chances as we go through the day. Temperatures still pushing into lower 90s though. Sorry, upper 90s. I wish it was lower 90s. Heat index values around 101 degrees. Rain chances stick with us overnight tonight, getting us back down into the lower 70s to start our Tuesday. Maybe even some heavy rain with some of those showers and thunderstorms. And a quick check of the 7-day forecast shows those storms stick around into tomorrow, which helps with our temperatures. 89 on Tuesday. A very slight chance for storms on Wednesday. And then it clears out and it gets hot, highs pushing into the lower 100s. We've got more of the KOAM morning news right after this.
Well, many young musicians lost a lot during the COVID-19 pandemic when music schools closed and rehearsals stopped.
And feeling other economic and social pandemic pressures, the path back to the concert stage has been challenging for many.
But one of the biggest names in classical music brought dozens of musicians together for a unique opportunity to create and connect.
Karen Kafa brings us the story from Los Angeles.
This isn't Gustavo Dudamel's usual Los Angeles Philharmonic on stage at the Walt Disney Concert Hall. An international rock star of classical music, Dudamel is leading a group of musicians ages 18 to 26 who could someday take seats in orchestras around the world. Dudamel was not much older than these players when he was named the LA Phil's music director in 2009 at age 27. He grew up through Venezuela's free music education program El Sistema, so he sees the future of classical music as important as the present.
We try to bring them here not only to learn music, to see and to understand how powerful is the tool that they have.
With his wife, Maria Valverde, Dudamel started the Encuentros, or Encounters program, through their foundation in 2018, bringing young players together, growing their confidence on stage with the help of Dudamel and mentors, including current LA Film members, and encouraging space outside of practice and technique to leading communities offstage.
When they encounter each other, the action of making beauty for others, creating that inside of them is so important.
For the program's first time in the U.S., this year's group counts more than 100 musicians from 22 countries, from Venezuela to Scotland to Japan. The camaraderie is especially important after pandemic isolation, when music schools and concert halls went silent for an extended period. Violinist Hera Molina was born and raised here in Los Angeles.
I think that for me personally, COVID hit a little harder than most because I'm from a lower socioeconomic background, so it was kind of hard for me to really keep the momentum with my music without feeling the pressure of sort of the outside world.
19-year-old Gonzalo Tuesto of Peru is one musician experiencing the U.S. for the first time.
When I got to know that I was coming here, it was like, oh my God, I cannot believe this.
Making rehearsal of Antonin Dvorak's Ninth Symphony, dubbed The New World, even more poignant. Dudamel's instructions flow between English and Spanish and push classical comfort zones with a work by jazz legend Wayne Shorter. It's 2 busy summer weeks, including a performance at the Hollywood Bowl.
And for us, it's beautiful, it's the best holiday that we can have.
The experience designed to echo far beyond. In Los Angeles, I'm Karen Kafa.
Of course, music, the window into the soul. It's great to have concerts back.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, we've got to check that forecast right after this.
Did.
Hey, we're just humming some good tunes out here because that music package inspired us. As we head through the day, though, some rain might inspire you, because it's going to be rainy today. Storm chances will increase through the morning and into the evening. Unfortunately, though, highs still pushing into the lower 90s. Heat index values upwards of 101 degrees. Rain sticks around with us overnight. Gets us back into the lower 70s, which is nice. Maybe even some heavy rain with some of those thunderstorms. The southwest breeze about 5 to 10 miles an hour. We got more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Coming up, authorities arrest a man in Kansas accused of shooting and killing 4 people in Ohio.
Beautiful sunrise with partly cloudy skies is going to give way to more clouds and thunderstorm chances. The latest from the Skywatch Weather Center.
And we send our Skyview drone for a flyby of the new Harry M. Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex to take a look at the construction progress.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It is 6 a.m. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. It is a beautiful Monday. It's a warm Monday, but it's a beautiful Monday. It's Monday
warm
too.
All summer.
We got to be. Somebody's got to be excited about Monday, right? And if we're going to start people's day off, we got to start it off right. We can't come in here and be like, man, Monday sucks. I don't like it. Let's not do it anymore. We've just got to be like, guys, it's Monday. It's a glorious Monday, isn't it? We're waking up. We're going to get to work. We're going to earn that money. Bring home the bread.
We also want to be relatable.
That's true, too. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't like Mondays. I can relate in that fashion. Like you, I did not want to wake up this morning, but
I was so excited to come and anchor with you this morning, Chris.
See, I look forward to it each day. So, and that's the thing. Find a job you look forward to every day. I mean, the job market's pretty hot right now. Find a job you love and go do it. All right? Take a look at this. Something else you're going to love, rain. Now, there's not much off in our northwestern counties right now. There's a little bit more this morning. These things are actually moving away from us, but they will actually increase in coverage as the day goes on. Right now, at 7th and Range Line, look at that. A beautiful shot, partly cloudy skies, 79 right now in Joplin, feeling like 81. Most of us starting our day in the upper 70s to near 80 degrees, and we've also got dew points to contend with. The increasing moistures because we're going to see some storms. So let's talk about that real quick. Afternoon highs today, still hot, pushing into the upper 90s. Heat index values not as bad, but still above 100 for most of us. But storm chances really pick up later this morning into the afternoon and early evening. They're going to stick with us overnight with lows dropping into the lower 70s, maybe even some heavy rain with some of these storms. Storms will stick around into tomorrow and possibly into Wednesday before things really start to heat up again and summer says, hey, I'm still here, like vertical horizon.
Yeah, let's do it. Just
We got to.
Don't be popping up that 10-day because we don't want to know what's
No,
happening
we don't.
past that.
Well, we really don't want to know what the extended forecast looks like. Monday can be bad enough. Let's not add insult to injury with the extended forecast. Let's just talk about today and tomorrow where it's going to be pretty decent. Because tomorrow, highs of 89. Maybe lower 90s in some spots.
We'll look forward to that.
Much
We'll look
better.
forward to that.
Much better than what we've seen.
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, a crash in southwest Missouri takes the life of one man and injures two others. Authorities say a Pittsburgh man was driving on Southwest 60th Road south of Minden Mines. He drove off the road, hit a tree, and the vehicle overturned. A passenger, 19-year-old Tristan Davis of Mulberry, Kansas, was pronounced dead at the scene. Both the driver and the other passenger were taken to local hospitals for treatment. Authorities arrest a suspect in Kansas wanted for killing 4 people in Ohio. Police in Montgomery County's Butler Township said late Saturday night, 39-year-old Stephen Marlowe was taken into custody by police in Lawrence, Kansas. He's wanted in Ohio for shooting and killing 4 people, with one of the victims a teenage girl. They say Marlowe will be sent to Ohio to face charges. Workers have almost finished construction on the Harry M. Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex. It will be the home of the Spiva Arts Center and Connect to Culture. The hope is to move into the new building in October and open in November. With the new larger space, they're seeking new staff to join their team and have the ability to host more events. Well, Carter Park in Carthage greets the unveiling of the new park concept with celebration. Participants were able to see how the new park is going to look like in the future, what it's going to look like in the future. After the unveiling, 7 teams gathered to play in a soccer tournament, which collects money for the park renovation. Youth pastor Excel Morales says the park brings him many memories from the past. Morales is the one who had the idea to partner with the city and help with funding the renovation of the park.
This is where I grew up. This is where I played. This is where I would come when I was just a little, about 10 years old, and come and play all the time. So we want to utilize the time that we have left with this.
The new park will be ready in about 5 years. Democrats hope to have the Inflation Reduction Act ready for President Biden to sign by the end of the week. After an all-night session filled with contentious debate, the Senate yesterday approved the mammoth economic package despite strong objections from Republicans. Skylar Henry reports from Capitol Hill.
The Vice President votes in the affirmative, and the bill, as amended, is passed.
With a tie-breaking vote from Vice President Kamala Harris, Senate Democrats passed the Inflation Reduction Act after a marathon weekend session. Now, the massive economic package heads to the House for a vote as early as Friday.
Our bill reduces inflation, lowers costs, creates millions of manufacturing jobs, enhances our energy security, and is the boldest climate package in U.S. history.
This is a day that will always live as the moment where the United States took over the leadership of the fight to lower the thermostat.
Democrats are hoping the measure will give the party a boost ahead of the midterm elections in November and lift President Biden's approval ratings. After the legislation won Senate approval, the president tweeted that he ran to make government work for working families again, adding that's what this bill does. Republicans who gave the bill no support in the Senate are describing it as a package of tax hikes and unnecessary spending that could worsen inflation and hurt the economy.
We're in a recession. Why would you be increasing the cost of government, increasing taxes?
Democrats say the bill's green initiatives will provide tax credits to those who buy electric vehicles and for companies that make solar panels and wind turbines. They also argue it will reduce health care costs, especially for seniors, including allowing Medicare to negotiate lower prices on prescription drugs. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
President Biden urged the House to pass the economic bill as soon as possible. Speaker Nancy Pelosi said her chamber would move swiftly to send it to the president's desk to be signed into law. On this date in 1974, during an evening televised address, President Richard M. Nixon announced his intention to become the first president in American history to resign.
Now, following the June 17, 1972 arrest of 5 men for breaking into and illegally wiretapping Democratic National Committee headquarters in the Washington, D.C. Watergate complex, evidence slowly and steadily mounted against Nixon, despite the former president's denials of involvement. Public confidence in the president rapidly waned, and by the end of July 1974, the House Judiciary Committee had adopted 3 articles of impeachment against President Nixon: obstruction of justice, abuse of presidential powers, and hindrance of the impeachment process. Now, on July 30th, under coercion from the Supreme Court, Nixon finally released what were known as the Watergate tapes. On August 5th, transcripts of the recordings were released, including a segment in which the president was heard instructing Haldeman to order the FBI to halt the Watergate investigation. 3 days later, Nixon announced his resignation, and it is covered greatly in the movie All the President's Men.
Yes, very much so.
It's a great movie, and it is a great topic. Also, the Frost-Nixon movie, another excellent movie to watch related to all that.
2 to check out.
Absolutely.
Well, that's a look at this morning's top stories in weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, Pastor Donnie Talent from Victory Life Church stops by studio to tell us about the back-to-school haircut event that's just 1 week away.
Plus, authorities in New Mexico believe a gunman may be targeting Muslims. We'll explain.
And teachers look like they are developing a taste for flavored nicotine products. We'll explain. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back.
Topping Nation Watch this morning, actress Anne Heche remains in intensive care with severe burns, facing a long road to recovery ahead. Now, the actress was severely injured when the Mini Cooper she was driving crashed into an L.A. home and burst into flames. The LAPD has been unable to interview Heche about the accident due to the significant nature of her injuries. However, hours before the accident, Heche posted a podcast where she referenced drinking vodka and wine because she was having a bad day. It's unclear when the podcast was actually recorded, and it has since been removed from the Apple Podcast landing page. Now, Heche is currently listed in stable condition. 4 people are dead, including 2 children, after an SUV driven by an alleged drunk driver hit a golf cart in Texas. Miguel Espinoza has been arrested by Galveston police on 4 counts of intoxication manslaughter after the incident. The accident happened late Saturday night when Espinoza's SUV allegedly ran a stop sign and hit the golf cart. There were 6 people on the golf cart. The adult driver of the golf cart died at the scene, while an adult female passenger and 2 children died later at the hospital. 2 other passengers are listed in critical condition. Espinoza is being held on $400,000 bond in the Galveston County Jail. Murders of 4 men in Albuquerque, New Mexico, all of them Muslims, and all of them ambushed by, according to police. Lilia Luciano has the details.
Local, state, and federal police are stepping up efforts after Friday's shooting of Naeem Hussein, the 3rd Muslim man murdered in Albuquerque in less than 2 weeks. Ahmad Assad runs the Islamic Center of New Mexico, which all 3 victims attended.
Just an emotional roller coaster in trying to make sense of these horrific and heinous crimes.
41-year-old Aftab Hussein was killed on July 26, and 27-year-old Mohammed Afzal Hussein on August 1st.
My brother will not come back, but I want someone else's brother, someone else's sister, someone else's dad or mother should not be victim of those people.
Police say the killer or killers may also be responsible for a 4th victim, 62-year-old Mohammed Zahir Ahmadi Hadi, slain last November.
How are people reacting?
Panic. We've certainly taken precautions, things like the buddy system. Don't travel at night if you don't have to. Don't even come to the mosque for prayer if you feel like you can't do that safely.
I'm sure that impacts far beyond the sense of security, also people's livelihoods.
And that's exactly what's happening here. I mean, it is hitting businesses, it's hitting schooling. We live in times where uncertainty rules the day.
Mr. Assad says he's confident the killer or killers will be caught with the help of law enforcement and the community coming together. He said he's also thankful for the universal outpouring of support. Lilia Luciano, CBS News, Los Angeles.
That's a look at today's top national stories. We'll be right back.
Well, welcome back. We've got Pastor Donnie Talent in studio this morning. You've been seeing him in the commercials throughout the morning, and now we've got him in-house here to talk about back to school haircuts.
Yeah, it's here.
This is like the big event that you guys put on for the community that is so awesome.
It is
awesome.
really great. It's our 15th year doing this event, and it is it's a community event. It's what's great about it. It is just totally community driven. We have a great community.
First of all, let's talk about what the event is and what it's not just haircuts.
No, it's not just haircuts. Haircuts was the lifeblood of it, but it's grown into something more. It's more community event. We have backpacks and school supplies. We just finished at the church yesterday packing 509 backpacks and school supplies for the kiddos. You see some of the photos. We try to involve just about everything we can, community level. That's some photos from our Pepsi pit a couple years ago with some guerrilla athletics coming out and being part of the kids.
Are you guys doing Dunk a Cop again?
Dunk a Cop will be there again, Shoot the Fire Hose, Evergy with their bucket rides, which is a fan favorite. So a lot of community pieces, which really keeps it really nice. UPS, there's another great photo. UPS will be out there again this year with all their backpacks on the UPS truck. So the kids will come through and pick their own backpack out through the UPS truck, which is a great partnership. Just all these community pieces together is great.
Now there's one big change this year, and that's the location.
Yeah, we will be changing locations this year. Our church is kind of under a remodel phase. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but we're moving it to the Lincoln Center and the Lincoln Park Kittyland area. So we were really inspired by Riggs Chiropractic. They purchased a $20,000 carousel, and so when we were looking for a place to move it and land it, that came first and foremost, and we thought, man, what a great connection and piece that would be. So haircuts will be up on the hill at the Lincoln Center.
And that's where you have to go first.
Yep, you have to go up there first, you have to register. Everything has to be signed in so we can keep the flow going. And then after that, you'll go down into the park and we'll have all the events and we'll have all the free food and the games and everything down there. We really look forward to future, the event really starting to grow down there and really be a real big community back to school time of year and all of the activities down there. We really look forward to it. It's going to be great. It's going to be a great time.
It's just awesome that you do this. I mean, families have a lot going on right now, and especially with the current economic status right now, like trying to get school supplies for all your kids, trying to get their hair cut for all their kids. And I know a lot of times you guys even have clothing as well.
Yeah. This is our first big event since 2019. So we kept the event going through COVID. We were able to raise some funds for the stylists during the actual COVID year. We had a drive-by year where we handed out backpacks and school supplies, and then last year we kind of get the show going again. But the families are so grateful. I mean, that's really one of the things that I notice the most is they're just so grateful because some of these kids families are calling up. They've got 6, 8 kids. Haircuts and backpacks and school supplies, and they can get it all for the family. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. And the community, I can't emphasize the community behind it. So we have G&B Bank, we have Evergy, we have Riggs, we have a lot of other businesses that really pour in a lot of time. Walmart, we had actually Walmart employees come out this week and pack some backpacks for us. It's just, people get behind it. It's a great event. It really is. It's really nice.
That's really awesome. Yeah. Yeah, are you guys, you said you'd have Evergy there with their
bucket rides? That they've been with us for probably 10 years, and the kids love it. Some of those kids, they get up there 150, 200 feet in the air, and they just, they're kings of the world. It's great. This year we will have face painting, snow cones, and we're having balloon guys from Joplin come over and do actual balloon animals and balloon shows. So like I said, we're just transplanting it. We use that word. We're transplanting it from the church to the park area, but we really look forward for the years to come to really even grow it even more with a lot of other activities.
And the key to help with the flow, like you said, make sure you check in at the Lincoln Center
first.
And that's where the haircuts are going to be, and you'll get wristbands.
Get wristbands. You got to call, got to sign up so we can keep the flow going. If we had everybody show up at once, we would be in trouble. So we're expecting probably 750 kids.
Do you still have slots available?
We do have slots available, and let me just ask this real quick. If you're a stylist, you'd like to volunteer some time, please call us. We are booked on haircuts, but if we could get a couple more stylists, that would be great. So if you would like to volunteer even an hour will do 10 kids. It's just wonderful. We'll take any stylists in the area that we can. Monday, August 15th, we're a week away, so that would be great.
What time does the event kick off?
4 o'clock this year, and we're going to run till about 7-ish, maybe 8, somewhere in there. Just depends how the flow goes. It's great, you know, logistics. UPS be out there, so it's got to be the logistics that keep the thing going, which is good too.
Well, if you don't mind, I'm going to have you stick around and we'll talk about what's going on at the actual Victory Life Church building right now.
Yeah.
Great news. This is super exciting, and you don't want to miss what this is all about. We'll be right back.
Topping Health Watch this morning, flavored nicotine gum, lozenges, and gummies are catching on with American teens. A study in the journal Pediatrics found e-cigarettes are the most popular nicotine products, but the new edibles rank second. Some of them marketed with sweet flavors that appeal to teenagers. When it comes to lung cancer, a new study points to the importance of early detection. Current guidelines recommend screening for high-risk adults over 50. Researchers think that may be leading to large disparities in cancer detection and why younger patients are significantly more likely to be diagnosed with later stages of the disease. And the debate over in-person learning during the pandemic, a study finds a full classroom does not lead to the spread of COVID-19. Researchers at Boston University analyzed thousands of class meetings. They found with mandated vaccinations and masking, indoor learning did not increase the spread. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We are starting the day with partly cloudy skies at 7th and Rangeline as the sun starts to creep up over the horizon there. We're also starting pretty decently, 79, a little bit on the warm side, heat index of 81 degrees. And most of us are starting the day in the mid to upper 70s, even approaching 80, say like Yates Center, 81, 80 in Chanute. So it's a warm start to the day, but we have storm chances coming. We're also contending with dew points in the upper 60s and lower 70s, and that's with increasing moisture ahead of our next weather maker, which is pushing on in. As we go through the day, storm chances will actually increase off this scale in the morning and through the day, and despite the rain, highs still pushing into the upper 90s, and we'll still have heat index values up to 101. There's no heat advisories, but like we've mentioned before, that doesn't mean it's not going to be hot, so make sure you're still taking appropriate precautions. Going through the night, the storms stick with us, lows in the lower 70s. Maybe some heavy rain with some of those storms with the southwest breeze at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. A quick check of the 7-day shows the storms today. We stick with us tomorrow, maybe a little bit on Wednesday. So tomorrow, nice, 89, 99 by Wednesday, clearing out and lower 100s for the rest of the week, which is not something we want to see, but it is still summer in the 4 states. It's still August in the 4 states. We've got more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Coming up, authorities arrest a man in Kansas accused of shooting and killing 4 people in Ohio.
Isolated showers and storms in our northwestern counties will increase through the day, the latest from the Skywatch Weather Center.
And we sent our Skyview drone for a flyby of the new Harry M. Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex to take a look at the construction progress.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's now 6:29. I'm Tanya Bonk.
I'm Chris Warner. So we're starting out. It's a little bit warm. It's going to rain. Before we talk about that, though, I was telling Ron out here that it's my own fault, but I only got 4 hours of sleep last night. Yeah, it was my fault. I was watching The Hunt for Red October because it's on Netflix now. Netflix suddenly added a bunch of really good movies.
Yeah, they did. I just watched The Lost City over the weekend.
So that's what I'm saying. So I was really into it, and then I looked at the clock, and I'm like, I really need to go to bed, but the movie's so good. So that happens. That or I start binge watching a show, and then I realize what time it is. So I'm going to try and go to bed at a reasonable hour tonight.
What series are you watching right now?
I'm not watching anything new.
I'm in Longmire right now. Thoroughly enjoying it.
I've watched like Chernobyl and The Newsroom like 20 times over, so because they're good. They're good. And what else is good? Rain.
Yay!
Not much on the Skywatch Storm Tracker right now, but that's going to change as we go through the day. Partly cloudy skies in Joplin as the sun starts to come up. 79 is where we're starting the day. Most of us starting in the upper 70s to near 80 degrees. And as we, dew points, they're up there because we got moisture incoming. For the rain chances today, they will increase through the morning and into the evening. Afternoon highs, though, still pushing lower 90s, heat index values to 101. And as we head through the night, storms stick around, temperatures dropping off into the lower 70s. And maybe some storms tomorrow, too.
Looking forward to that.
And only 89 tomorrow, too. Maybe some lower 90s, but otherwise considerably better than what we've seen. You need to enjoy it because it's going to be short-lived. We'll talk more about that later.
All right. Thanks, Chris. Well, federal authorities charge a Central Missouri man accused of taking a weapon with him to the January 6th riot at the U.S. Capitol. According to the U.S. Justice Department, 36-year-old Jared Thomas Barger of Centralia was arrested in Osage Beach, Missouri. He was charged with entering a restricted building or grounds with a weapon and unlawful possession of a firearm on Capitol grounds or buildings, along with related misdemeanors. The Kansas City Star reports Barger is the 23rd Missourian charged in connection to the January 6th insurrection. He is not accused of entering the Capitol building. Federal documents allege Barger took a 9mm semi-automatic pistol with him to a rally and then to the Capitol. Barger did not have a license to carry a weapon in the District of Columbia. Authorities arrest a suspect in Kansas wanting for killing 4 people in Ohio. Police in Montgomery County, Butler Township say late Saturday night, 39-year-old Stephen Marlowe was taken into custody by police in Lawrence, Kansas. He is wanted in Ohio for shooting and killing 4 people. One of the victims is a teenage girl. They say Marlowe will be sent to Ohio to face charges. Workers have almost finished construction on the Harry M. Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex. It will be the home of the Spiva Arts Center and Connect to Culture. The hope is to move into the new building in October and open in November. With the new larger space, they're seeking new staff to join the team and have the ability to host more events. A local 8-year-old cooks up some profits for a good cause by selling baked goods. Annabella Keith lives in Southwest City, Missouri. She raised $600 from a bake sale and donated all of that to the Ronald McDonald House Charities of the 4 states.
I enjoy selling the cookies better because I like listening to other people's stories.
Annabella's bake sale included sugar cookies and chocolate chip cookies, 2 of my favorites. Conspiracy theorist Alex Jones is ordered to pay nearly $50 million to a single family. Jones has repeatedly lied on his media platform that the Sandy Hook massacre was fake. The truth, 20 children and 6 adults were killed. Michael George has the details.
Question number 3, $20,500,000.
For the first time, far-right conspiracy theorist Alex Jones is paying the price for his lies about the Sandy Hook school massacre. A Texas jury ordered Jones to pay $45 million in punitive damages and $4 million in compensatory damages to the parents of slain 6-year-old Jesse Lewis. For years, Jones has claimed the mass shooting was a hoax. The family's attorney says they'll keep fighting to make sure Jones pays.
This entire house of cards is likely to come crumbling down.
Testifying under oath, Jones finally admitted the massacre did happen.
It's 100% real.
But he also claimed what he said was protected free speech.
What I did to those families was wrong, but I didn't do it on purpose.
The Sandy Hook parents say for them, his speech had extraordinarily painful consequences. Years of harassment and death threats.
I can't even describe the last 9.5 years of the living hell that I and others have had to endure.
Jones still faces 2 other defamation trials brought by Sandy Hook parents. A Texas law could dramatically reduce the millions of dollars the jury has awarded the little boy's family. In a preemptive move, Jones' media company filed for bankruptcy protection, and his attorneys say the show will go on.
Alex Jones will be on the air today. He'll be on the air tomorrow. He'll be on the air next week.
Well, on this date in 1975, the term global warming appears for the first time in print with the publication of Wallace Smith Brocker's paper Climate Change. Are we on the brink of a pronounced global warming in the journal Science? Now, Broker argued the ongoing rise of atmospheric carbon dioxide content created by fossil fuel emissions would soon begin to warm the planet, in turn warming surface waters in the ocean and melting ice into fresh water. His assessment of global warming trends remains relevant today. In 2017, a Columbia University publication found that as the planet was warming, fresh water was entering oceans at a higher rate. Broker died in 2019.
Well, it's definitely going to be hot today as well to kind of tie into that. Afternoon highs pushing the upper 90s, heat index values 101. We do have storm chances. This is noon. This model, again, this is its best guess. I think we're going to see a few more showers and thunderstorms than what it believes. But you can see they definitely increase in coverage as we go through the evening. And a quick look at the 7-day forecast shows they'll stick with us tomorrow and maybe even into early Wednesday. So we get a brief break in the temperatures Tuesday before we return to the lower 100s to wrap up the week.
I don't like looking at those
triple-digit
triple-digit temperatures.
I gotta show it every so often, but I don't like it.
All right.
I don't like it either.
That's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour in the KOAM Morning News, the new movie Bullet Train rolls into the #1 spot. We're going to let you know who pulled into the box office station right behind them.
Plus, the dog days of summer are definitely here, and that means our air conditioning units are probably working overtime. So we want to know, what's the temperature you set your air conditioner to? We'll let you weigh in. We'll be right back.
In Consumer Watch this morning, as we mentioned earlier in the show, the Democrats' economic package heads next to the House, where it's expected to go up for a vote on Friday. This after passing in the Senate yesterday. The bill is comprised of health care, climate change, and deficit reduction initiatives. Democrats say it's the biggest investment ever in fighting global warming, and it promises to cap out-of-pocket prescription drug costs for seniors with Medicare coverage at $2,000 a year. CBS Health is looking to branch out into the home health services business. That's according to a report in the Wall Street Journal. The newspaper says the drugstore chain and pharmacy benefits management giant is interested in buying Signify Health and plans to enter a bid this week. CVS could face competition from other bidders as Signify explores its options, including a sale. At the box office, Bullet Train took the top spot with ticket sales of an estimated $30 million in its opening weekend. The Brad Pitt action movie is expected to be the summer's last major release as Hollywood works to recover from the shutdowns of the pandemic. DC League of Super Pets fetched more than $11 million at the North American theaters. And Jordan Peele's Nope came in third with more than $8 million. That's it for Consumer Watch. Let's go over to Chris for something to talk about.
This morning we're discussing everyone's favorite thing this summer, air conditioning. Now here in the United States, many people use air conditioning to beat the heat. I'd hope that's what you use it for. That's if you're lucky enough to have it though. However, in Europe, that's not the case so much as Europe's bracing for another round of sweltering temperatures. They're expected to top 100 degrees in the coming days. Folks in Spain, though, won't find much relief indoors. There's a new law requiring businesses, museums, restaurants, and public transportation to follow strict temperature rules. The Spanish minister delivering the news saying the thermostat in winter should be held at a maximum 66 degrees, and in the summer, no cooler than 80 degrees. Now, law comes as Spain deals with a double whammy. The war in Ukraine has sent energy prices skyrocketing as Russia cuts gas supplies to Europe. That brings us to our something to talk about. What temperature do you keep your air conditioning set to in the summer? 60, 65, 66, 68, maybe something else? You can vote, KOAMnewsnow.com/vote, and do so in the app. You can also take part in discussion on our Facebook page. 71% of you saying something else. I'm in that something else category too. We've got some birthdays and anniversaries to celebrate, but first we're going to check in with the mothership, see what's happening on CBS Mornings.
I'm Nate Burleson. Coming up on CBS Mornings, Tony catches up with Hanson in the latest installment of our morning mixtape series and finds out the surprise meaning of their mega hit. Bop, you remember that song, right? That's coming up on CBS Mornings.
We take this time to honor today's four-state hero, Tommy Slaughter. Master Sergeant Slaughter served in the Army from 1966 to 1967, and then again from 1970 to 71. He served in Vietnam. A native of Pittsburgh, Kansas, we thank you, today's four-state hero, Tommy Slaughter.
It's time to get your Monday birthday groove on as we start celebrating this little guy here. He's the nephew of our graphic artist, Will York. This is Wyatt Jackson York. turning the big 1 today. A very happy birthday to you, Wyatt.
All right, Wyatt, happy birthday. And over in Scammon, Bailey Best is turning 6 years old today. Look at her, safely wearing her seatbelt. I like that. Happy birthday from Charity and Jamie.
Heading out to Iola, we've got Xavier Johnson turning 6 years old today. A very happy birthday to you, Xavier.
All right, and we've got Samantha Akey celebrating birthday number 8 in Neosho. That means it's her golden birthday because it's August the 8th.
That's very, gosh, can you believe it's already August the 8th? Samantha, get out there and celebrate. We've also got Alexander Taylor turning the big 10 over in Weir. Happy birthday to you, Alexander.
Josie Baher celebrating birthday number 14 this year. Josie is in Parsons.
And we've got Landon Jesse turning 14 in Pittsburgh. Very happy birthday to you, Landon.
All right. In Frontenac, celebrating birthday number 15 is Ace Barcelona. Curious what he's holding there? Well, it's a citizenship award. Congratulations for that as well. Happy 15th.
And we've got Wyatt Wilson over in Joplin celebrating birthday number 15. And this comes with love from Aunt Charity and Uncle Jamie.
And out in Galena, Darren Combs turning 18 years old this year. Congratulations on your recent graduation there, Darren, with love from Mom and Chris.
We've also got Kayla Keller in Neodesha turning 36 today. And Kayla, this comes with love from Mom and Dad.
All right, Courtney Imoff turning 47, looking better every year there, Courtney. In Pittsburgh, happy birthday.
We've also got Mark Lee turning 60 years old today. And this is a special birthday message saying happy 60th birthday. We hope you have a wonderful day. Love, Kevin, Caitlin, Rhett, and Hazel. Happy birthday, Mark.
All right, and we got a belated birthday wish. Mr. Dean Jesse turned 69 on Saturday. He's been celebrating every day since, and we're going to celebrate again today. In Galena, happy birthday from the family, Dean Jesse.
And we've got Verna Tucker turning 73 years young over in Fort Scott. A very happy birthday to you and to your 2 best friends right there, Verna.
All right, and we've got Charlie O'Malley in Scammon turning 78 years old this year. Happy birthday, Charlie. From your cousin Lois sending this one in.
And we've got Nancy Kernick turning 79. Lois has lots of friends here because this comes with love from Lois to Nancy turning 79 in Chanute.
All right, and Kurt and Hannah Zom are celebrating 12 years together. Congratulations to the Zoms in Baxter Springs.
We've also got Jason Earl turning 49 in Jasper. Corey Pitts celebrating a birthday in Lamar as he turns 50 today. Carter Borland turning 6 in Loma Linda. And Patricia Christie turning 70 in Fort Scott. As well as Bill Noakes celebrating a birthday in Erie. And over in Coffeyville, Art and Shirley Peterman are celebrating their anniversary. Everybody get out there and celebrate and make your Monday a little brighter.
All right. If you have a birthday or an anniversary, you can submit them to us through email. That's a really easy way to do it. Just send them to birthdays with an S at KOAMTV.com. Make sure to include a picture and the date of the birthday that you'd like it aired as well. Or you can go to birthdays at KOAMNewsNow.com and send them in that way.
You can also sign up for the KOAM Birthday Club while you're there. It is an excellent idea to do that because you get some great deals from local businesses. So make sure you sign up for the KOAM News Now Birthday Club by going to our website, KOAMNewsNow.com. Good morning, Starshine. The 4-State says, please not again. It's a beautiful day. This is a beautiful sunrise that we've got, but it is a precursor of the fact it's going to get hot today. 79 already in Joplin, 81 is what it feels like. But you see, let me back that up. Take a look at those clouds. You see these clouds starting to build in? We have some rain chances on the way. Let's Let's get through this forecast. I'll tell you about them. Everybody starting off in the upper 70s to near 80 degrees. Even take a look at Yates Center starting off a little bit warmer, 81. You know, it was weird. It's just last week, Yates Center, Iola, Fort Scott, Nevada, they were the cool spots most mornings. And now there's some of the warmer spots this morning. We have rain chances building in, also dealing with dew points. And the reason that they are up there in the upper 60s to lower 70s is we've got moisture increasing to bring us these storm chances through the day. They'll start to increase through the morning. 93 by noon, 97 by 5, and 84 by 8 with storm chances throughout the day. So it's still going to be hot. Heat index values pushing 101. No heat advisories right now, but just because there aren't any doesn't mean it's not hot outside, and it won't be hot because it will. Storm chances stick with us through the night. Lows dropping off in the lower 70s. Might be some heavy rain with some of those storms. With a nice southwest breeze about 5 to 10 miles an hour. You can see on the future track, storms continue to increase in coverage throughout the day. The good news is no severe weather is expected right now, so that's a plus. Just some good old-fashioned thunderstorms as we head through the day. And a quick look at the 7-day forecast shows they do help us with temperatures, not today, but tomorrow, 89 for a high. Storms stick with us tomorrow and possibly even into Wednesday, but we start creeping right back up. And once those storms are out of here, take a look at these temperatures, lower 100s as we wrap up the week and head into the weekend. We've got a look at the news you need to know before you head out the door when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Authorities arrest a suspect in Kansas wanted for killing 4 people in Ohio. Police in Montgomery County's Butler Township said that late Saturday night, 39-year-old Stephen Marlowe was taken into custody by police in Lawrence, Kansas. He's wanted in Ohio for shooting and killing 4 people. One of the victims, a teenage girl. They say Marlowe will be sent to Ohio to face charges. 1 man is dead and 2 others are injured after a crash in southwest Missouri. Authorities say a Pittsburgh man was driving on Southwest 60th Road south of Minden Mines. He drove off the road, hit a tree, and the vehicle overturned. A passenger, 19-year-old Tristan Davis of Mulberry, Kansas, was pronounced dead at the scene. Both the driver and the other passenger were taken to local hospitals for treatment. Federal authorities charge a Central Missouri man accused of taking a weapon with him to the January 6th riot at the U.S. Capitol. According to the U.S. Justice Department, 36-year-old Jared Thomas Barger of Centralia was arrested in Osage Beach, Missouri. He was charged with entering a restricted building or grounds with a weapon and unlawful possession of a firearm on Capitol grounds or buildings, along with related misdemeanors. Kansas City Star reports Barger is the 23rd Missourian charged in connection to the January 6th insurrection. He is not accused of entering the Capitol building. Federal documents allege Barger took a 9mm semi-automatic pistol with him to a rally and then to the Capitol. Barger did not have a license to carry a weapon in the District of Columbia. A top Democratic Missouri state lawmaker wrote to the Democratic governors of Kansas and Illinois asking for help paying for abortions for out-of-state Medicaid patients. Missouri House Democratic Minority Leader Crystal Quaid called on Kansas and Illinois to apply for Medicaid waivers to cover abortions for out-of-state patients. The waivers only apply in cases of rape, incest, and medical emergencies. The spokespeople for both governors have not responded to the request. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
Quick check of the forecast as you're heading out the door. We're all starting in the upper 70s to near 80 degrees. We're dealing with some up there dew points in the upper 60s to lower 70s. That's increasing moisture ahead of our storm chances today. They will start to build in by this morning, and they'll really kick into gear as the day progresses. Despite the rain, still pushing for a high of about 97. Heat index values upwards of 101. The rain sticks with us through the night. Brings our temperatures down into the lower 70s, which is a nice thing for us to be able to experience. There might even be some heavy rain with some of these storms. And a quick check of that 7-day forecast. The rain today, rain tomorrow, and it will help keep temperatures down a little bit. Early rain on Wednesday, and then it starts to warm up. And as we head through the rest of the week, you can see we're going to be ending the week on a high note with temperatures pushing into the lower 100s.
All right. Well, coming up today at noon, we're making beefy garlic pizza in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. It's back to school season. and the CDC has plans to relax COVID guidelines. Coming up next, what this means for your child and a look at the document outlining the possible changes.
Okay, or you could switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, we've got Pastor Donnie Talent from Victory Life Church back in our studio to tell us about a haircut event and changes going on at the church.
I don't really need the haircut, but I know my kids do, so
There you go.
certainly something to check out. Plus, is that a new planet or a sausage? Just leave you with that one. Jeannie Moose will have the answer over on Fox 14. That'll wrap it up for us for now. Stick with us on Fox 14 for the answer to that most important question. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning.
We're going to do it all again today at noon.